Folks, thanks for coming on the line with us today. My name is John Dubas with Premier Marketing, and we'll be spending the next half hour to 45 minutes or so discussing a means of accessing new prospects through the use of an ancillary demand product, dental programs. At this time of year, many folks are going back to the people they addressed during the open enrollment season for either the Medicare recipients that they dealt with or for the folks affected by the Affordable Care Act programs, as neither one of these programs really lend any dental coverage of consequence to the folks that they address during that fall enrollment period. What we see in many circumstances are folks then at this time of year that are running up against locked doors and trying to find a way to get in to visit with people and visit with them about a program that they're open to suggestion about and are in need of. So what we need to do is find a large door opener, and we feel that you find that through prospecting with dental programs. One of the things that I just mentioned is, where do you find these people? Well, if you work in the Medicare market, you've probably dealt with a whole bunch of folks that you helped into a Medicare program or spoke to about a Medicare program during AEP, and that's your book of business. And that might include people that are in the Affordable Care Act programs too, if that's an area in which you operate as well. Either one of these individuals, types of individuals, will be in need of the program, as is everyone else that's out there that are in the general public. They generally need assistance for dental programs because, well, as we know, the coverage for these programs are not as unilaterally applied across our population as some of the health programs. So if you look at the experience that you had in offering Medicare programs, be they either Medicare Advantage programs or Medicare supplement plans, neither of them generally have very strong dental coverage. A Medicare Advantage program may have some regular maintenance type of programs or a limited benefit. Medicare supplement plans may be a discount program on certain med subs, and that's it. And these folks are generally in need of that coverage, and you can do different things to reach out to that population and visit with them and take care of the need that they have. Since they are your clients, you can call them, obviously, and you can do it legally as long as you walk through the different processes of do not call list, depending upon how long it's been since you spoke to your folks, and relate to them the different opportunities they have for coverage. And so what we look to do then is, one, make certain that we're comfortable with the programs that we offer, and two, make certain they are an item of need that will help our folks financially. If you have regular contact with the companies that you deal with on a Medicare Advantage basis, or even your Medicare supplement folks, those carriers are generally encouraging the agents to make certain that they maintain contact with their book of business to drive up their persistency. We look at the different Medicare Advantage programs and we might say, well, gee, they're locked in anyway. There's a whole bunch of special election periods out there that will enable many of them to change their coverage. And as we know, Medicare supplement programs, as long as the folks can qualify for an additional plan or a different plan medically, they could change at any time as well. So we need to make certain that we take care of our people, cover as many needs as possible, and make certain that the avenues that other agents are doing in a similar fashion to us are closed because we are taking care of our own prospects and clients. A nice thing about these programs is many of them enable you to do electronic enrollments. So you can do some things telephonically or over the internet or by a personalized URL, a PURL, enroll folks without the addition of windshield time, and do so very, very effectively and efficiently. So let's get some facts straight in our own head so we're comfortable as we go through and market to the people that are may be in need of this coverage. And generally, if you look at the plans and the premiums that they have in place, most of us don't like to swap a dollar for a dollar, but there are programs out there that if you have an opportunity to double your money, if you do that on the slot machine in Vegas, you'd be pretty happy. In this circumstance, we want to do it through an ancillary benefit program that can help people with their coverages for their dental needs. And if you look at it, it's pretty easy to come to a $500 figure within a dental circumstance without really going overboard with any one service. You look at some of the typical cleaning and dental exams, they'll range anywhere from $50 to $135. You do some of the more extensive deep cleaning processes, you can run up to $1,500 easily in these coverages. And a lot of this basic material is covered very simply and immediately under a dental program. You get into some of the more expensive or needs that are come as part of additional services that are rendered by a dentist or a dental hygienist. You're looking at, periodic x-rays or full mouth cleaning of the gums and those areas. You're going into an additional $300 worth of coverage costs really quickly without straining anything at all. Then if you get into major services like dentures or bridges or things of that nature, the costs add up very, very quickly. And this is an area that is actually a determining factor that we'll discuss a little while later in the presentation as to why one plan over the other. Because certain plans will cover major services first year, the majority of them don't, and they will phase in such coverages over a number of years in many circumstances. So if you get into some of the premium dentures, you're going up to $8,000 for a full mouth of dentures. You need some help. Basics, even to get to the dentures, when it comes to extracting different teeth, that can be very expensive as well. And that might even get into surgical consultations that even add more to the bill that you're dealing with your teeth. And then if you factor in some of the other senses that we have that tend to decline as we grow older, and if we've dealt with the Medicare population, well, they may need help with vision and dental or vision and hearing coverage as well. So if you do a little bit of simple math, it doesn't take much to add up to much more than $500 worth of coverages, which more than covers the premiums that are charged on an annual basis in many circumstances for these dental programs. So how do you determine where you find these programs? Well, one of the tools is available to you, and you probably have access to it already as a contracted agent with Premier Senior Marketing, and that's through the quote tool that you have for Medicare supplements as well. And if you look at that, bear with me just a half a second. And you access that tool from signing into the agent portal section of Premier's website. You'll notice that it takes a lot of work to figure this one out. And I'm saying that very facetiously because if I can do it, you certainly can. You'll notice that it's not just Medicare supplements that are available to quote on that dashboard. You have 5 different categories of product that you can access through that quote engine, including Medicare supplements that we probably all use it quite a bit for both determining what programs we need as part of our portfolio and to offer complimentary Medicare supplement reviews to our prospects and clients. There's a section in there that helps you compare Medicare Advantage and PDP programs, a final expense quote engine, a piece for hospital indemnity programs, which we have additional trainings on this coming month as well, just as a precursor. And then you have dental programs. This particular quote engine does not take into account every dental program that is offered by our organization, but it gives you an idea of how you can use these programs as a point of discussion and to walk into different coverages that helps you compare programs that may be the best fit for your prospect and client. And you'll notice you can go down to some very low premiums on some of the very basic coverages with certain carriers. Ameritas is a very, very strong program available to our agents, as is a fairly recent addition of an offering by Mutual of Omaha. Medico has been active in this area for quite some time. And so you have an opportunity to go through and look at differing programs with differing premiums without having to do a lot of manual calculations. It also gives you an opportunity to go in and look at specific plan details, ratings and overall benefits, and enables you also to make certain that we take into account household discounts, because many of these programs will offer a discount even if one person only in the household takes the plan. As long as there are two people over the age of 18, many of these programs will offer a discount without both individuals being part of the program. So it's a nice tool that you can use to do some basic pieces of discovering what is available to you and do some quick comparison by using that tool. As I mentioned, it can give you the different details on what a maximum is for the calendar year benefit, any deductibles, any of the things that come into play. So some of the standalone choices that we offer for dental programs include the three that we saw on that quote engine, the Ameritas, the Medico, and the Mutual of Omaha programs. There have also been some entries into that area depending upon the market that you operate in by both Aetna, Anthem, and Humana as well, and they tend to be fairly strong programs. If you want to look at some additional means of support for those programs as well, Medico kicks out a lot of information on different marketing programs through their agent website, the MIC website, and it'll go into detailing on both the need for these programs, so a way to help walk you into the sale, and a means of getting in front of folks using the material that they have provided and made available to you easily. You'll note as well, not only does Medico conduct regular training programs, but so does Humana, and so does Aetna with their dental vision and hearing program that they've rolled out in particular markets. So this information is available to you to make certain that you feel comfortable with the programs that are available to you, and you'll notice by name brand carriers. Some of the things that might make a difference to you is how you choose which carrier to contract with. Well, if you consider it from the point of your prospect, you're going to look at some of the costs of the program, what the benefit limits are there deductibles and coinsurance that come into play for different services or for some of the base services? Are there different layout periods that are part of the program where if a person needs some of the major services, do they have to sit out a year before the coverage is there for them? Or do they have immediate access to that benefits? Because it does vary from carrier to carrier. There are also different layout periods where there may not be a coverage at all for a certain service, and we want to make certain that we are aware of those. Some of the companies do use a network of dentists, but it is not a required network. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you go to a certain dentist, your benefit lasts longer because they have agreed to certain rates on certain services at a discount, and it enables that $1,000, $1,500, $2,500, whatever the benefit limit for the year is that you select, and enables it to last longer because you are working with a lower priced service than you would if you went to a dentist outside of the network. One of the things I mentioned a moment ago is the fact that not all these plans are available in every state. So that's something that you have to consider when we look at using a dental program as a door opener. And then, of course, there are certain carriers that carry certain reputations, and there are some folks that will buy coverage simply because it's offered by a particular carrier. So that's something to consider and something that we want to make certain that we take into account when we select a portfolio that we're offering to our prospects and clients. For us, there are a number of factors that come into play as well as to what we want when it comes to dealing with a carrier. How simple is it to contract with them? Many of these carriers have an online contracting system that is very simple to do. We're going to demonstrate one in a little bit that will help you contract with multiple carriers and take care of it that way. But one of the other things we want to look at is what kind of portfolio does that particular carrier offer you to offer your prospect or client choice within a single carrier. If they have a particular affection for, let's say, Aetna, they like that name, they're comfortable with that carrier, what options do you have within that offering that can most comfortably suit your prospect or client that you're visiting with? Additionally, what kind of marketing support is made available? We noted on the piece that I was showing a little earlier that Medico does some custom work for you on different pieces of marketing support. Aetna does as well. All the carriers will give you some preset pieces to use, not only with a general mailing or with perhaps marketing through dentist. And that's another marketing program that we offer, and that is tips on how to market through different providers. Sorry, another webinar, but it is a way for you to get into the community and own a piece of the market. Then, of course, how easy is it for you to actually enroll a prospect who says, man, I want me some of that? Well, some of them will allow you to do it telephonically. Some of them, as I mentioned before, will allow you to send a particular link to the person that they click on and just fill out the information you get credit for. There are a couple of these that actually offer you a microsite. So you can fish the World Wide Web or push your prospects and clients to that website for an enrollment process that's done very simply and electronically through an online presence that they help you establish and maintain. There are different commission rates available from some of the different carriers. Sometimes that will depend upon the amount of business that you roll in. Sometimes it depends upon the type of product. One obviously that has a lot of the benefits available up front may have a smaller upfront commission, and your commission may range more steadily flowing into your bank account because of that. But then, of course, we also have to look at not only first-year commission, but how does it respond on a renewal basis? And that's something that will vary from carrier to carrier and is something that we need to discuss individually because not all of them are available in your area. That goes back to that availability question and the reputation that you have and that that carrier has with you as to who you actually want to work with. So how do you start? Well, we can help you started by getting contracted. Remember I mentioned the number of carriers that are available with a dental program? Well, you can actually go into our SureLC or SuranceBay function, the software that we have linked on our website, create an agent profile, and select multiple carriers and contract with multiple carriers much more simply by doing it electronically, having the information in that pool feed out to the different carriers and contract much more quickly. Keep in mind that this is an ancillary product that does not require certification. However, if you're looking at certain contracts with certain carriers, it may be part of a program that requires certification if you want other product out of that contract. So it's something that we want to make certain that you're really comfortable with as to what portfolio you want within a particular carrier, and with some of these carriers that requires different types of contracts. However, using SuranceBay allows us to access that overall contracting much more cleanly, much more easily in the long run. We have obviously our full team of licensing individuals in our Norfolk office that will handle much of this for you. It comes then as a case of, what do you want to do? Is this going to be a good way for you to solidify your current book of business? Because keep in mind, the more types of products that you have within a household, the higher your persistency across the board, and of course, the more revenue that flows out of that household. Many of us obviously do this for more than just money, but this then becomes a component of, do I want to use this as a way to drive a larger number to my of clients to my agency, so I have a larger number to market during open enrollment as well. So you can swell your book of business using this product and work it inversely in the fall. What you need to do is determine if that's part of what you want to do. Look at the contracts that are available to you, get them in place, and let's figure out how we can incorporate this into your overall marketing plan. Make it a way to actively market. You can then do it in conjunction with other programs you may be using in the Medicare world. Believe it or not, it's Walmart time. Many folks that participate in that program, in order to be very successful, work the area around the Walmart. It'd be very simple then to identify dentists in that area and work back and forth to make certain that you're taking care of multiple centers of influence and getting them in play. The thing is, well, we're already into the year. We can't procrastinate much longer to make this an effective play before we're going to start again to be asked to do certifications for multiple Advantage, Medicare Advantage, or PDP programs. So the time is now. Don't procrastinate. Let's look at a way to reach out and solidify your client base, add to it, and do it simply through our organization. You can reach us at 1-800-365-8208 or through our website at premiersmi.com. What you see on the screen is the marketing team based out of Dallas. If you are currently working with another marketing team with Premier, obviously we urge you to reach out to them and discuss the possibilities you have with this program that enables you to reach out to people and basically say, hey, I'm selling, you buying? Statistically, carriers are telling us that if you ask that question, 50% of the time, they're going to buy. It's a yes-no proposition. And many of them need the coverage, and they didn't really realize that it is available to them at a particular age, at a particular time in their life, or whatever the circumstances happen to be. We look forward to the opportunity of visiting with you in the very near future about this marketing initiative, and we look forward also to being a factor in your overall success. In the meantime, we wish you good selling and look forward to speaking with you in the very near future. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon.